a shovel and move it and throw it against somebody's wall because it's your issue. Now, this issue would go away tomorrow if there was a national law that says all rent checks now must be collected through the fire escape by the landlords or the management companies. Imagine where you put your check is on the outside of your window, you duct tape it to the outside of your window, and you tell your landlord, my check's here, it's outside. And I noticed for 2 months you haven't collected the other checks that I duct taped out. When are you coming? These things would, there'd be a lot of people out there saying, dude, you want to live for free in my building, just get an apartment because they can't seem to collect their check.
The reason this fire escape is still standing
is
because this picture was taken when? In 1926?
There you go, you can tell by the helmets, right?
Exactly. Now, that's when it was new. Could you imagine Irwin, me, a couple other big head guys up on some of these fire escapes now?
Let's talk about this very picture and then let's take a 2-minute break to get a cup of coffee. Ready? That's a 3x4 or 4x4 platform. Do you agree?
Right.
4 times 4 is 16 square feet. Times 100 pounds per square feet, that's 1,600 pounds of weight. Each one of those men back then, but let's talk about today's men. They averagely weigh 200 pounds and they have 100 pounds worth of equipment. Is that correct? Yes. 300 pounds. I need to squeeze 5 firemen fully outfitted with tanks and everything in a 4x4 square. Can I do it?
No.
Never gonna happen.
So these things are overbuilt. They're built to take that plus. So on average, you're going to get 3 men. It'll take 5, 6 guys. Now, tenants weigh an average 150 pounds apiece. I've got 1,600 pounds. That means I can put over 10 people in a 4x4. Can I do it?
Never gonna happen.
So these things are built. Now, you let me get at any old fire escape that's 75 years old. You let me get at it, and you let me reconnect it back into the building with new epoxy bolts or new through plate. That'll satisfy you? You let me change out every bolt, keep the original material. I'm gonna give you a guarantee in photographs so you go there and see it that none of the connections have any more rust, and what used to have rust I've cleaned, I've primed, and I've silicone shut it, and I got a fresh brand new bolt in there. Will you feel comfortable that that fire escape is not ready to take firemen or people? If I
feel comfortable.
If you scrape away the rust,
what
cleaned it
about
out,
the thread?
put a new bolt in the epoxy, I can get with that.
And there's one more for you guys, and we're going to talk about that, and then let's have our quick little 2-minute break. I also put a tag, which is already now in use by the Seattle Fire Department and the Tacoma Fire Department. I have a white tag 7 to 10 feet off the ground, which is 8.5 by 11, so I have a tag this big, 7 to 10 feet off the ground, and it's white. You don't even have to read it, even though you can read it, and it says, the fire escape has no deficiencies. And you come down that alleyway in the middle of the night full of smoke and snow and steam and whatever the hell you want, and you look up there and you see this white tag on it that says the fire escape has no deficiencies. It even tells you when the next inspection due date is. Will you feel comfortable with jumping on that fire escape and go saving that baby?
So.
Yeah.
If you run down that alleyway and you get there and it's got a yellow tag on it, it's got a red tag on it. So all we're doing right now, if we could, and we said, you know what? There's a rule here in East Orange. We're not going to fix any fire escapes, but we're just going to identify the current condition. If this is an identification program to identify the current condition, to then generate a long-term plan of what we're going to do this. Imagine all we did was put whites, reds, or yellows on fire escapes, and that's all we did. You didn't force owners to fix them. You just wanted to know. We need a tag, a conditional tag on your fire escape. That's all we're doing, and we're going to spend 5 years finding them and tagging them. So all you do is basically you're going out and you're placing nothing but yellows and reds. Because can you place whites?
No.
Who can place whites? Structural engineers, right? So everybody you go to, they're like, oh, I'm gonna put a white one. No, you can't put a white one. Oh, then put a white one on for me. I can't put a white one on. If you want white ones, you gotta call these guys and they'll put a white one on. Otherwise, the only thing you're getting is yellows and reds. Unless you give me some documentation that says that it's a white, you don't have a right to put a white on there. So you spend the next 3 to 5 years finding how many, and I mean a physical count, because the firefighters are going to help you find them. You guys are going to start, you're going to say, we've identified 4,300 fire escapes in the entire city, commercial, residential, and institutional in the city of East Orange. And what condition are they? Out of all of them, only 7% of them are white, and the rest of them are all yellows and reds. Great. What do we want to do? Well, what we want to do is immediately on the reds, we've issued all these orders. Fire watches, vacate the buildings. We've started implementing the scaffolding situation, and why? Because these people are all faced with $10, $20, $30,000 problem. They're all screaming. Everyone has the mayor on speed dial. Ah! You're like, okay, that's okay. So what do you? This is for the safety of the tenants and the firemen. We have three options: fire watch, vacate the building, scaffolding. And why don't you fix it? We want them to fix it, but they want the cheapest Band-Aid, and the best Band-Aid we found, short of an emergency repair by some vendor in our community. These scaffolding things come with insurance. They're properly put up, because we're not letting any of these people put up their own scaffolding. I went to Home Depot and I rented my own scaffolding. I'm sorry, that's not allowed, because the scaffolding has to be put up by a licensed person, because the staircase system, scaffolding is just, there's no stairs in those. The ones we have to order for you must come with stairs, so your tenants can get out, firemen can get in, there's all this wrapping that you have to do with wire. Huh?
That's not saving you any money. The scaffolding.
Well, some people will spend $1,000 a month for 6 months, other than spend $25,000 right off the bat. They'll waste this little Band-Aid money all the time. They do it all. But what do you care if they want to spend $1,000 a week? I mean, $1,000 a month, and it just buys you time, because you're not going to let this go indefinitely. You're going to drag that guy into court, or you're going to do something. But you need an immediate repair, and that immediate repair is vacate the building, fire watch, scaffolding. Is there any other options? Yes, there's other options, but then they start getting into money that you claim you don't have.
Certified inspections will cost them more. Once we have it certified, with all the new stuff, what's that going to run?
Okay,
$500.
Let's talk about engineer oversight. Engineer oversight can go anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 for engineer oversight, because you're paying some engineer $75 to $175 an hour, and he wants 10, 20 hours to babysit the vendor to make sure that it's all worked. Because the guy that convinces you that there's no load test is the engineer. So if there's no engineer on a project that's getting repaired and there's no permit, you're not going to accept it. But I just got a letter from this very well-respected structural engineer from the city that's the mayor's cousin. They're like, dude, I'm not going to take this because there's no oversight. I don't know what repairs were done. He doesn't know what repairs were done. He didn't oversee. Okay. And this is I need more information. We need to get into this.
Engineer oversight is going to cost him $1,000.
Yeah. All right. Now you're going to be talking about, because very rare you're going to go to load test, but I'll give you the load test money.
You already got the load test, $1,500 for a floor. That's not even repairs.
Right.
That's just $1,500 for floor.
On average, you're going to spend with full metal stairs, including paint job, dealing with the lead paint issue, anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a floor for a standard fire escape. So you got a 5-story fire escape on average for me. It's running anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 is the average repair for a 5-story fire escape with a cantilever. Now, what will drive that price? Shopping it around. They'll shop around, but now shopping it around is a name like, okay, shopping it around with an engineer oversight, it'll be 12 to 15, 15 to 17. No engineer oversight and shopping it around, you got a quote for 18 grand to do this job, and I got a quote for 1,800 to do this job. You know who's going to knock it out of the box? You are, because you're going to say, so you're getting, oh yeah, we found somebody and they're going to start work right away. Great.
Okay.
What's the name of the company? Oh, it's Harry's Landscaping. Okay, great. Who's the engineer that's going to be overseeing this? Oh, they started yesterday. They're going to be working, but I have no engineer. Then stop the job. I need a permit on it. I need to speak with the engineer. I need to see his inspection criteria, and I need to see his schedule of when he's going to be there to watch the licensed contractor who's going to be doing this repair. Once that happens, great. Oh, you're crazy, you're a nut, I'm going to call the mayor because you want too much. No problem. Listen, at the end of this, instead of the repairs, I'm also going to now want a load test, because you're dicking me around now. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to order a load test, but if I don't get satisfied that this was under control and under watch, I have in the code, and it says right there in your code, 1028.6, a load test shall be ordered. Okay? I read your code to you guys already. Let me read it again. All exit discharges, exterior stairways. Have we talked about fire escapes yet?
Nope.
Exterior stairway.
Okay? We're not even talking about fire escapes yet, and the code already tells you something you guys are not even touching yet. We'll get to that 5 years from now when you guys get fire escapes under control. But again, all exit discharges, exterior stairways, and fire escapes shall be kept free of snow and ice. Any fire escape or exit stairway found in a state of deterioration or determined to be unsafe by the fire official, not the building official, shall be repaired immediately, depending upon the structural condition. Depending upon the structural condition. Who decides what depending upon structural condition means?
We do.
You. Depending upon the structural condition, a load test of any fire escape shall be conducted before the fire escape is returned to service. Meaning, if I go out of my way to convince you that the structural condition is good to excellent, do you want a load test?
Not necessarily.
There you go. But if I start digging you around and I ring the door in the background and and I call the mayor and I got influence up the tail. What can you order?
Load test.
That's it. Very nice job. Looks like you repaired it very well. The thing is nice and painted. Very good.
Do you have
Order load test. They're like, oh, you're crazy. It says right there, dude. A load test shall be ordered. I'm ordering a load test. Isn't that what I wrote in the violation? Load test? Give me a load test. Otherwise, had you done this correctly, and the engineer called me, and we spoke, and you pulled a permit, and you didn't have Jack the landscaper do this job, you know what I'm saying? And you're evasive, dude, this thing is not to protect landlords. This thing is to protect people, and I think I gave you cards, and I was gonna give you guys these cards because of the picture in the back. Keep this in your wallet whenever you got somebody screaming at you and giving you all kinds of crap.
Yeah.
I got
You pull that out, and you say, hey, let me tell you who's not in this picture.
The big girl died.
Yeah, she died. Her niece survived, and the fireman saved himself with one hand because he held on to the aerial ladder. You show him that, and you say, you know who's not in this picture? A landlord. You see? You're busting my balls, and you're not in this picture. So, this is why, don't piss me off, let's get this thing fixed, because you're not in this picture. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever, because this thing only gets two people. People who pay rent, and people who save them. And it's never you. But as soon as they come up with that law, that's what you can use my joke to say, but as soon as they come up with that law that we're pushing nationwide, that all rent now must be collected through the fire escape, we're not gonna have this problem. But in the meantime, you understand? So that's we're now going to get into the meat of these confidence tests, and what we do. So let's take a 2-minute break. Reload your coffees, guys. You just leave it on. And as I say,
my question is always going to be:
and by the way, yes, you can ask
when
one
I'm
question.
writing the violation, because now I changed the way I wrote the violation. I used 1028.6, but instead of putting scrape and paint. Because we have in our fast codes, we have scrape and paint, we have load test, right?
I believe so.
But I used to be able to put like, I used to put like secure the gooseneck.
Yeah, I would tell
I used to secure the gooseneck to the roof and everything. I don't even do that anymore because I'm talking to you. I put inspect, repair, paint.
Yeah. No, the word that you're going to use from now on everything, no matter what you see, repair, paint, test.
Okay, so.
And they're going to call you back and say, what's this mean? What's this word? Repair what? You're going to say, I don't know. Your engineer's going to tell me what you're going to repair. Because you pointed to that tread and that gooseneck. Dude. Repair, painted, tested. Repair means you bring me some professional inspection report that says, he might highlight that tread that I talked about and that gooseneck, but he's going to tell me about all this other crap that I didn't even see because I didn't have time that day. I don't perform inspections. But that word repair, and it says right on your tag, right there, contact local official because you need repair permits violation. Number 2, have fire escape inspected, because when you leave this tag on there, it says have contact confidence test by structural engineer, fire escape inspector with reports and violation reports and photos. The third thing you do is service and or load tested. So you only write repair, paint, test. Let the questions come. They're gonna say, what's the word repair?
Because I was thinking like when I